The Curse of Craftsman. Who stole the socket wrench? A young inventor gets ripped off by Sears. He takes them to court, which becomes a David and Goliath fight. Patent number 3,208,318. The quick release for socket wrenches. Inventor P.M. Roberts. Pressing the top button on the ratchet wrench, release the attached socket on the wrench. Another socket can then be quickly snapped on using just one hand. Very handy while working on any project. When Peter showed his prototype to his boss took Peter to the top brass at Sears. Peter explained his patented invention to the board, and they loved the idea. Sears ran the numbers through their marketing department, and they knew they had a multi-million-dollar idea. Peter was a hard worker for Sears, and they knew the value of what they had. Peter was young, and his boss told him because he was such a loyal employee that they were going to buy the patent for $10,000. Peter was excited and proud when he first saw his invention listed for sale in the Sears tool catalog. Then it struck him his tool was front and center in the catalog. Sears had said that his tool wasn't a big deal. Looking at how much Sears was promoting his wrench, well, it hit him like a lightning bolt. He had been cheated by Sears, and it made him mad. Feeling taken advantage of, Mr. Roberts decided to take Sears to court.
Only a patent attorney can prosecute a patent case in the courts.
As Mr. Roberts explained how he felt taken advantage of by selling his patent to Sears to a patent attorney, little did he know he was about to be pasted over one more time in this legal process. In a shocking move, the patent attorney Roberts had originally hired to protect his idea was recruited by Sears. The retail giant actually hired Roberts' own lawyer to work against him. This left the young inventor without counsel and facing his former advisor in court. With no money to pay for a high-powered legal team, Roberts eventually found a trial lawyer named Louis Davidson. Davidson took the case on a contingency basis, meaning he wouldn't get paid unless they won. It was a true David versus Goliath battle that lasted 25 years.
Tell us, how would you feel?
Sears, with lots of power and money behind them, kept stalling in an attempt to make Mr. Roberts drop the case either out of frustration or running out of funds. He started out as a young man, and he aged during the prolonged court case. This section of the story is perhaps the most frustrating for inventors to hear, as it highlights how a large corporation can use the legal system for itself as a weapon. Here is a quick overview on what Sears did to delay Mr. Roberts' case in the courts. Max Coolthings will provide a few more details. One of their main tactics was bifurcation. They convinced the judge to split the trial into two separate parts. First, they spent years arguing over whether the contract was fraudulent. Only after that was settled did they start an entirely new multi-year battle over the patent itself. Every time Roberts won a round, Sears appealed. They took the case to the U.S. Supreme Court multiple times on small technicalities. They even refused to turn over sales records, making it almost impossible for Roberts to prove exactly how many millions Sears was making while the trial dragged on. Essentially, Sears turned a simple case of right versus wrong into a 25-year marathon. They weren't just defending their actions. They were betting that a lone inventor couldn't survive a quarter-century of legal fees and delays. But against all odds, Peter Roberts stayed in the fight. The betrayal of Peter Roberts by his original lawyer was more than just a personal insult. It was a devastating strategic blow that fundamentally stalled his legal momentum. In a lawsuit, your attorney is the keeper of your strategy, your work product, and your private assessments of a case's strengths and weaknesses. When Sears hired Roberts' original patent attorney, Charles Fay, they didn't just gain a lawyer, they effectively gained a spy who knew Roberts' original position from the inside.
Man, this is sleazy.
Louis Davidson knew he couldn't outspend Sears, so he outmaneuvered them in front of the jury. He didn't just talk about patents, he talked about fairness. He showed the jury that while Sears was telling Roberts his idea was worthless, they were secretly manufacturing 44,000 wrenches every single week. Davidson took every delay tactic Sears used and turned it into proof that they were hiding the truth. In the end, his strategy worked. The jury saw a giant corporation that had bullied a teenager, and they made sure Sears finally had to pay. Even after winning the initial $1 million, Davidson didn't stop. He famously told the court that the first million was merely a down payment on what was owed. He used Sears' continued sales during the appeals as proof of, quote, willful infringement, eventually pushing the final settlement nearly 9 times higher than the original jury verdict. So did Mr. Roberts really win? Let's take a quick overview and see what Max Cool Things' thoughts are in this case.
Two upsides to Mr. Roberts' story is this. His tool is still manufactured today, even though the patent expired. His legal story is used in case studies in law school.
Peter Roberts lived until 2024, passing away at the age of 79. After a 25-year battle that defined his youth, he spent over half a century married to his wife Carmen. He didn't just retire on his settlement, he used it to build Link Tools, a company where he finally got to call the shots. In the end, Roberts wasn't just a man who won a lawsuit. He was a man who reclaimed his life and his legacy as one of America's most persistent inventors.
We are pleased to bring this inventor's story to you so he is not forgotten. Please remember to like and subscribe.